Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Those of you that are new here, my name is Ashley and I am a working homeschooling mom to 3 kids. Today's video is a collab podcast with Stephanie from 10 Kids and a Garage. I am so excited to be working with Stephanie and sharing both of our views in today's video. Today's video, we are talking about in homeschool, should you plan or not plan? Should you have a schedule or a routine? And what works in my homeschool may be very different than what works in your homeschool. So I'm going to talk about what I do in our homeschool as far as planning, routine, schedule, and then Stephanie is going to post a video what works in her homeschool. So after you watch this video, go down below and check out Stephanie's channel and video. So if you've been around my channel, you know I am a planner. It is my type of personality. I have been planning since I came out of the womb. You can ask my parents. It's just the type of person I am. I thrive with checklists and accomplishing tasks in a checklist, and it's just what works. It works for my kids too. Some of my kids are a little bit more adaptable. Some of them are just like me and we need our routine and schedule, and that's just how we are. So I want to talk about what we plan and why we plan it in our homeschool and why it works for us. So I have 3 kids and I work full time. I do work from home, but I do work 40 hours a week. I start work at a certain time, I take lunch at a certain time, and I get off work at a certain time. So I needed to kind of schedule our homeschool around that, as well as we have a great family support system. And so my kids do go spend 2 days a week with my in-laws, my mother-in-law. And so we needed to also be able to plan with that, because that is 2 full days a week that we don't want to fully not have school. And so that's how I came up with our schedule. We also have a lot of different curriculum. If you've been around my channel, you know I buy lots of curriculum just because I love learning, I love teaching, and I think there's really great resources out there. And when I finally looked at all the stuff I had purchased for the year, I was like, there'd be no way we can do this all within one day. And because of the amount of it and my kids and like our just day-to-day schedules, I needed to plan it out. And so I decided to plan what our subjects are per day. And so I made these little plans for my daughters, which I've already shared videos on this, so I'm not going to get too in depth on that specifically. I will link those videos down below. But I know on Monday, these are the subjects that we do. On Tuesday, these are the subjects. And you know, for each day of the week. And so that works for us, because then I also plan weekly. I have a planner for each of my daughters, and I write down, okay, because it's Monday, we have language arts on Monday. So I know on Monday for that week, she needs to do a language arts lesson. And so I do plan in detail per week where you're going to do lesson 1 and lesson 2 or these pages. And so I do have a full week plan as well, which would look like this. And so language arts, and then I have our lessons written down. So we are planners. We are pretty strict in a schedule. It's laminated, right? Like our weekly plan's laminated, so it's not changing. That is the only downside to having like a pretty strict schedule. Like we only do language arts on these days of the week, is it kind of limits your flexibility. And that is just the one downside to it, is if we wake up sick and we don't want to do a lesson, then it kind of throws everything off. The way I kind of combat that is, you know what, if we missed this day and today was language arts day, we're not going to really try to make it up. I do have some blocks scheduled for makeup days, but we don't really need to. We are switching to more of like a year-round homeschool, where I have a lot of more days planned to where we can catch up, or we don't need to, you know, really worry about catching up because we have more than enough days to cover the coursework. And so that was something that I changed this upcoming homeschool year, was just to give us more days of school to get that wiggle room if we need it. We also have just different curriculum. My oldest daughter is getting into 4th grade, and her curriculum's just getting a little bit more, I don't want to say intense, but like her reading with history, that's going to take a lot of her day, and I don't want her doing school all day. And so for her to only have to focus on 3 subjects on Tuesday made more sense than trying to do all 8 subjects in one day. We also added electives in. That was something we weren't doing last year. And so now every day of the week we have a different elective, and we have an activity that goes with that elective. My kids missed doing those, you know, technology or art or music electives when they were in public school. And so we're adding those back in, but that's something else that we have to fit and plan into our routine. And so that's just what works best for us, is knowing, okay, on Mondays is art day, and that's what we're doing. We're not doing art any other days of the week. And that's also for my sanity, because I cannot clean up art projects multiple days a week. We have to limit that to once per week. Another thing that I learned, and I know this about myself, I am give me a list and I will accomplish that list, but then I'm done and I feel accomplished, and that is it. My older daughter is the same way. You give her a list of tasks, she's going to do it, and that's what she's going to do. If you keep giving her different things, if you say, oh, go do this, and then she finishes it, and then you give her another task, that frustrates her, and that frustrates me too. I'm the exact same way. I want to know, when am I going to be done? When am I going to be accomplished? And can I mark all of these things off? That's our type of personality. It's not always good, because we're not as good with being adaptable, or when things do interrupt us or throw us off schedule. Where my middle daughter, she's kind of the opposite. She could be overwhelmed if we were to give her a list of 10 things. That overwhelms her. So she's better at, hey, go do this. Okay, now you're done with that. All right, let's go do this. She's not looking for the end, where myself and my older daughter are. She's looking to do one thing at a time, which I think is a lot better. It's way more adaptable. She's way more easygoing than we are. And you know, she doesn't like cut off herself like, oh, you know, me and my older daughter, we've done all of our work for the day. Well, we're done. we're not doing anything else. Where my middle daughter will take that opportunity to do something else. So there's definitely a downside to having that more type A personality checklist, not as adaptive. And we know that is definitely a struggle in our home, but we're dealing with it. And so that is really what works in our home. And it also works too, because of my work schedule, of my husband's work schedule, of the 3 kids, of having different, you know, family members picking them up, dropping them off. They have different activities. We're also joining a co-op this year. This will be our first time that we're fully in a co-op, and that's also going to be scheduled. So that's going to have to make us, okay, well, now we're not doing our schoolwork on this day. So how do we adjust and adapt? And so that is what works in our homeschool, and we are pretty scheduled, I would say. We are not scheduled in the sense of you need to do math at 9 a.m. Time schedules don't work. That is where we would struggle. Obviously, I can do that with my job, but to always say, okay, we're going to do math at 9 a.m., it's just, that doesn't go well in our house, because somebody could be ahead on lessons, somebody could be behind on lessons, something could be happening at 9 a.m. I could be in a work meeting at 9 a.m. or we could have somebody working on the house at 9 a.m. You know, it's just the time schedules do not work. They work for lunch, and that is about it in our homeschool. And so you will never see me doing a time schedule, but we definitely say we're doing these tasks on this day, and that stays the same every single week. So yes, that's our homeschool. I will link my other videos where I show more in depth all of the planning tools that I use. So if you do want to add a little bit more plan structure to your homeschool, you can use those. I do offer a lot of free planning tools as well on my blog. And don't forget to go down and check out Stephanie's channel. She is sharing her homeschool, and if she plans, if she schedules, if there's a routine, and why that works in her homeschool. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on others. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.